Picture this. It's a sunny afternoon in Sacramento, 2023, at Del Paso Heights Elementary. The playground buzzes with laughter as kids chase each other during recess. Inside, Mr. Kim Wilson, the beloved 64-year-old third-grade teacher with a warm smile and endless patience, helps little girls with their art projects. Parents rave about him. Reliable, kind, the kind of educator who makes school feel like home. But behind that classroom door, a nightmare unfolds. Wilson doesn't just teach, he preys. Over years, he lures young girls into a private storage room, promising extra help or special treats. What happens next shatters innocence forever. Flash forward to August 2025. Handcuffs click as Wilson faces a sea of shocked faces in court. How did this trusted figure become a monster? This is the chilling story of betrayal in the heart of education, where trust turns toxic. Stick around as we unravel the web of deception that left a community reeling. Rewind to 2018. Wilson, a veteran at Twin Rivers Unified School District, starts small. Innocent compliments on drawings, extra stickers for good behavior. But his gaze lingers too long on the quiet ones, the vulnerable girls aged 7 to 10. He builds trust like a spider spins silk. "You're my favorite artist," he whispers, isolating them during lunch breaks. Soon, invitations to the back room for secret projects become routine. There, away from prying eyes, the abuse begins. Lewd touches disguised as games, escalating to full assaults. Wilson doesn't stop at horror. He records it all on his phone, forcing victims to stare into the lens, capturing their terror for his twisted collection. Over 5 years, at least 6 girls suffer in silence, too scared to speak. Why? He warns them, "This is our special bond. Tell, and you'll break hearts." The school hums on, oblivious, as report cards glow with A's from the man who destroys futures. Media frenzy fades, but echoes warn. Evil hides in plain sight. Wilson's cell in Folsom State Prison? Iron bars for a man who caged innocence. Yet questions linger. Were there more? Untold stories in deleted files? The sentence lands like a thunderclap. But healing, that's the real marathon. One brave step at a time. Years later, Del Paso Heights heals. But the shadow of Kim Wilson endures, a stark reminder that heroes can harbor horrors. Schools nationwide tighten nets, AI-monitored cams, trauma-informed training. Victims' voices amplify, pushing laws for faster probes. One girl, now a counselor, mentors at-risk kids. Your story saves others. Wilson's legacy? Not praise, but cautionary fire. In quiet classrooms, teachers earn trust anew, but eyes stay vigilant. This tale isn't just crime. It's a call to listen when whispers scream. If a child's doodle hides darkness, act. Because behind every smile, monsters lurk until exposed. National City, California, 2022. Lincoln Acres Elementary shines under golden sun. Sixth graders swarm the halls, buzzing about recess heroes. At the helm, Miss Jacqueline Ma, 34, fresh teacher of the year. Vibrant, innovative, the educator who turns math into magic tricks. Parents beam at PTA nights. Kids idolize her flair. But peel back the applause. A predator in pearls grooms shadows. Two boys, 11 and 12, vanish into her classroom after hours for extra credit. What brews there? A toxic brew of manipulation and assault. Fast forward to May 2025. Ma, once a star, stands tear-streaked in San Diego court, chains clinking like fallen trophies. How does glory mask grotesquerie? This is the gut-wrenching saga of accolades over atrocities, where inspiration twists to infestation. Buckle up, we're dissecting the descent from darling to damnation, piece by damning piece. It starts innocently enough. Fall 2021. Ma, married with a picture-perfect life, spots vulnerability. Shy Jamal, new kid with family woes. Outgoing Tyler, eager for praise. Your specials, she coos, slipping notes in lockers, candy in backpacks. Private sessions evolve, doors locked, curtains drawn, for life coaching. Touches linger, shoulder rubs turn sinister, whispers promise futures. By winter, assaults ignite, forcible acts in the supply closet, desks as altars to her ego. She hoards photos, mementos of conquests. Warning, our secret keeps us strong. Boys grapple guilt, silence their screams. School life dazzles on. Ma's viral TikToks of class dances rack views, masking the moans behind scenes. One boy confides in a journal. Teacher's games hurt bad. Cracks spiderweb as grades dip, eyes hollow. The queen of curriculum, she's scripting suffering, one coerced kiss at a time. But whispers grow. Spring 2023. The journal surfaces, igniting fury. National City PD storms in, badges flashing like shattered illusions. Interviews crack open. Boys, now 13, spill horrors. Repeated rapes, emotional chains. Raids yield horrors. Ma's phone, a vault of illicit images. Child porn caches. 5 counts stack. Forcible lewd acts. Possession. The school freezes. Lockdowns. Parent riots. How? They howl at board meetings. Ma's hubby blindsided. Files divorce amid headlines. Probes reveal grooming playbook. Target loners. Blend affection with aggression. District scrambles, firing her amid lawsuits. Media explodes. Teacher of the year turns tyrant. Victims' families huddle in therapy tents, voices rising. She stole our son's light. As cuffs snap, Ma's facade fractures, sobs in squad cars. The investigation balloons. San Diego Superior Court, May 2025. Tension coils like a spring. Families flank the aisle, glares drilling Ma in her tailored suit. DA Summer Stephan unleashes. 4 counts pled guilty, graphic timelines from 2021 to 2023. Boys testify, voices cracking but fierce. She said love, but it was lies. Pain in the dark. Ma's apology? Tearful theater. I lost myself, she whimpers, blaming stress. Jury unmoved. Experts dismantle. Classic predator. Power abused. Boundaries blurred. Flash to award nights. Ma's speech on empowering youth, now poison. Impact statements gut the room. Futures derailed. Trust torpedoed. You paraded as protector, a dad roars. Deliberations drag hours. Verdicts echo like thunder. Outside, cameras capture collapse. Ma's empire of esteem in ruins. The gavel shadow looms large, promising chains for the charlatan who chained innocence. Guilty plea seals it. 30 years to life. No parole whisper. Judge's words whip. You perverted your pedestal, preying on purity. Ma crumples, sentenced to Chowchilla's cold embrace. Victims exhale, closure's first breath amid wreckage. District pays out settlements, overhauls vetting, psych evals, open door mandates. Ma's legacy? Tarnished trophies in trash bins, a caution in curricula. Boys heal jagged, art therapy, peer circles bloom from barren ground. One pens poetry, turning torment to triumph. Headlines shift from glory to gallows, but ripples rage advocacy amps. Laws toughen on educator ethics. Ma's cell, solitary reflection on squandered shine. Families forge ahead, planting seeds in scarred soil. Yet echoes taunt, more hidden hurts. The sentence strikes hard, but society's safeguard. That's the ongoing odyssey. Vigilance as vaccine. Echoes of Jacqueline Ma fade into California's coastal haze, but her stain sears, a siren that saviors can sour. Schools evolve, anonymous tip lines, boundary boot camps. Victims' valor inspires. One boy lobbies legislatures, voice booming for the voiceless. Ma's tale? Not triumph, but toxin, ringing warnings in every welcome. Classrooms reclaim joy, but glances guard gates. This chronicle cries, acclaim ain't absolution, probe the polish. If a kid's quietude conceals cries, intervene. Monsters masquerade as mentors, till masks slip. Hit like if her hypocrisy haunts, sub for sinister sagas unpacked. Your worst role model reveal? Drop in comments. We unpack the unthinkable together. Cut to an empty blackboard, chalk dust dancing. A pledge. Protect the pure. Always. Stuttgart, Germany, 2006. Alexander M. Patch Elementary hums with American expat energy. Army kids chasing dreams on foreign soil. Mr. Stefan Zappi, 40-something DoD darling, strides halls with accolades. Teacher of the Year, 2007, Master of First Grade Phonics. Smiles abound. Parents toast his patience at base barbecues. But in locked lavatories, Zappi unleashes abyss. 4 boys, tiny tots aged 6 to 8, lured by helper games into gropes and worse. Decades later, 2023, a federal courtroom in Georgia chains the charmer to life. How does overseas oversight blind to barbarity? This is the overseas odyssey of authority's underbelly, where stars stripe with sin. Hang tight, we're tunneling through the timeline of terror that toppled a titan. Stuttgart's scars soften under seasons, but zappy zilch warns. Uniforms veil unsightlies. Bases bolster barriers. Anonymous apps audit assaults. Survivors spotlight. Podcasts pulse their plights. Policies pivot. Zappy zombie, locked in legacy's limbo, a lesson in latency. Halls hum safer, but history's haunt. Heed the hesitant hug. This dispatch demands. Duty demands diligence. If a kid's quiet quakes, query quick. Predators perch in power, till pulled. Like if overseas evils electrify. Sub for shadowed sectors. Your base-born bogeyman, we chronicle the concealed. Fade on a playground post. Flags fluttering free. Fortify the front lines, forever. Miramonte Elementary, LA 2010. Chalk dust dances in sunbeams as fourth graders giggle through science. Mr. Mark Burnt, 60s fixture with dad jokes and dioramas, reigns revered, 30 years loyal, kids confidant. PTA pots praise his patience, principals pat backs. But in dim closets, Burnt brews bedlam. Semen spooned cookies, bondage pics of bound babes. 23 tots, 7 to 10, ensnared in his taste tests and ties. 2013, LA court cages the creep to 25 years. How does devotion devolve to depravity? This is the visceral voyage into a veteran villain's vile vault, where lessons lace with lewdness. Grip tight. We're gutting the grotesque that gut-punched a ghetto. January 2012. Aunt's alarm alerts authorities. LAUSD unravels. Detectives descend. Desks disgorging horrors. Film canisters from dry cleaners. Decades damning. 23 victims verified. Assaults 2002 to 2010. Charges cascade. 23 felonies. Lewd legacy. School suspends. Scandals surge. Protests paralyze parking lots. Knew and did nada. Parents probe principals. Raids reap relics. Ropes. Restraints in rentals. Media malls. Sicko spoon feeder. Burnt bolts to bail. But bonds bind. Investigations indict inaction. 2005 whispers squelched. Docs destroyed. Victims' voices vault. He hugged to hurt. As affidavits amass, a city convulses. Vigils veil the vulnerable. One mom murmurs, "Our oasis, oasis of outrage." Threads thicken, tying the tangled teacher to his toxic 25 years. Consecutive crush. Depraved disregard. Judge declaims, detailing the diabolical dining. Burnt, 62, shuffles to state slammer. Smirk stripped. Victims validate. Vindication's velvet veil over voids. LAUSD lavishes lawsuits. $30 million mended. Mandates multiply. Cameras, checks, Burns badge? Burned. Benefits banished. One girl, grown, galvanizes. Survivor's symphony against silence. Echoes enact. Ethics, edicts, early alerts. But buried blasts? Probes pause on possibles. The term? Terminal toll on a twisted tenure. Healing? Horizon's hymn. Parmene's healing hurts. Miramonte mends under murals of memory. Barent's blight, a beacon. Beware the bland. Districts deploy detectors. AI audits. Advocate alliances. Survivors shine. Books birth from brokenness. Bills bolster boundaries. Barent's burrow? Barred eternity. Emblem of evasion's end. Classrooms chime clearer, but cautions carve. Catch the creepy crumb. This epic etches. Experience excuses nothing. If a kid's quirk quivers queer, quest quick. Fiends feast in familiarity till flushed. Like if his horrors heave, sub for stomach-churning sagas. Your schoolyard shiver? Spill in comments. We sift the sinister. Cut to a cookie crumb on concrete. Crushed. Cleanse the classrooms ceaselessly. West Jakarta, 2016. Pondok Pesantren Al Mansur hums with Quranic chants. Young girls in hijabs, weaving faith's fabric. Haji Harry Wirwan, 30s sheikh and schoolmaster. Sermons on sanctity. Smiles saintly. Devout dads donate. Daughters dazzle in his dawah. But in dorm dens, Wirwan weaves wickedness. Rapes ravage 13 souls, aged 11 to 14. Pregnancies pile. 9 newborns from nightmares. 2022. Indonesian Inquisition indicts to death. How does holiness harbor hell? This is the harrowing Hajj into hypocrisy's heart, where piety perverts to plague. Cling close. We're charting the chronicle of corruption that crucified a cleric. Ramadan's Rise, 2016. Wirawan, widowed warden, winks at the waifs. Orphans, the overlooked. Spiritual guidance he guiles, guiding girls to guest rooms for prayers private. Innocence inveigled, caresses cloaked as care, escalating to ecstasy enforced. Over 5 years, 13 ensnared. Hotels, hideaways, host horrors. Threats thunder. Sin shames Allah. Silence saves. Bodies bloom. 8 bellies bear his bastard burdens. School sanctum, shrouded serenity. Surahs sung over sobs. One 12-year-old pens pleas in palms. Ustads hurts holy. Whispers wane in worship's wake. Wirawan's wives, willfully blind, wealth from waqfs. Patterns pray, post-Maghrib meetings, persistent predations. The Imam's idol, infected 2001. A swollen secret spills. Teen mom murmurs to midwife, midwives to muftis. Jakarta PD pounces, prayer rugs pulled. Interviews ignite. 13 testimonies, timelines terrorizing 2016 to 2021. Raids raze residences. DNA dams, diaries detail. 14 counts, rapes rampant, minors mangled. Pesantren pauses. Parents pillory pulpits. Probes prick protocols. Lax lights, locked lips. Media minarets. Madrasa monster. Wirawan wails innocence, but wombs witness. Investigations inflate. More minors, murmurs mount. Families fast for fairness. Fatwas fly against the fiend. One aunt affirms, faith's facade fooled us all. Threads tangle transgenerational, tying the tangled turban to his tainted throne. West Jakarta High Court, April 2022. A dawn echoes as anguish assembles. Kin cluster, kafiyas knotted in knots at Wirawan's white thobe. Prosecutors' psalm proofs, victim voices, vivid violations. He quoted Quran to quiet cries. A 16-year-old shudders. Wirawan's wine, witchcraft bewitched. Witch hunt waved off. Jury juggles. Saintly sermons versus seminal sins. Experts exercise. Gurus groom with godliness. Godsends gone ghoul. Testimonies temple torch. Trust transmogrified. Traumas transcendental. You preached purity, practiced pollution. A brother blasts. Gavel gods grind. Verdicts vault like virtuous vines. Outside, outrage orates. Chants challenge clerical cloaks. The benches blaze, blistering brand for the beast who begat in blasphemy. Death by firing squad upheld. Utter depravity, Judge Jihad declares, dissecting the demonic doctrine. Wirawan, 36, weeps to walls of death row. Victims vindicate, vanguards vow over voids. Pesantren purges, audits ascend, auntie advocates. Settlements soothe, surahs shift to safeguards. Wirawan's wealth, wiped. Wives wander. One girl, graduate, galvanizes. Survivors surah against subjugation. Echoes enact. Ethics edicts, early evals. But buried births, probes ponder possibles. The sentence? Supreme seal on a sacrilege saga. Healing? Horizons Hodge. Harmonies hallowing hurts. Jakarta's Jumu'ah joys jaundice under judgment. Wirawan's wither warns. Worship veils wickedness. Madrasa's martial monitors. Anonymous azans audit altars. Survivors sanctify. Stories scripture scribe. Statutes steel spines. Wirawan's wraith, walled in infamy's inferno, icon of impiety's implosion. Sanctuaries sing safer, but suspicions stalk. Scan the sermonizer's shadow. This dispatch dawns. Devotion demands discernment. If a girl's glow gutters, gather guardians. Imams impinge innocence till impeached. Like if his heresy horrifies, sub-foreshadowed shakes. Your faith-fueled fright? Fling in comments. We fathom the forbidden. Fade on a mirab moonlit. Murmurs mending. Mend the minarets meticulously. Erie, Pennsylvania. Summer 1975. Strong Vincent High sizzles with senior schemes. Lake breezes beckoning. Coach Raymond Payne. 30s heartthrob. Wrestling whiz. Lit lover. Woos with wisdom and wins. Student swoon. Debbie Gama, 16. Golden girl with dreams. dazzles in his den. But a joyride jars to jugular, strangled, stashed in creek, wire-wrapped wrists. 1977. Pain plagued to murder, life-locked. Decades drag. 2020. He gasps last in prison plague. How does mentorship mutate to malice? This is the heartland haunting of a high school homicide, where charisma chokes to catastrophe. Hold on, we're hiking the haunted history that hanged a homeroom hero. Erie's lakes lap lullabies now. Pain's phantom fades, faculty fortifies, but fables frighten. Highs haul harder, hotlines hum, horizon hugs. Debbie's devotees, documentaries dawn, decrees deter. Pain's pyre, prison's pall, parable of procrastination's peril. Hall's heartbeat bolder, but beware the beguiling bard. This dispatch demands, devotion discerns danger. If a teen's twinkle tarnishes, tackle tender. Mentor's menace till monitored, like if his hold haunts, sub for heartland horrors. Your classroom creep? Confess comments, we chase the chills. Cut to creek calm, currents carrying closure. Clasp the kids, ceaseless. Cape Town, 1980s. Mitchell's Plains platforms pulse with colored kids' chatter. Trains trundling to townships. Norman Simons, 20s tutor of tongues, teaches English with eloquence. Poet at heart, pal to pupils. Community cherishes. Afzal's affable, aunts affirm. But in Bushveld bushes, boys' bodies bloat. 22 strangled, sodomized suspects. 1994, convicted killer. 1 count, 2 life terms. 2023 parole. Pandora's puzzle persists. How does diction dictate death? This is the apartheid-era anguish of the station strangler, where words weave with wickedness. Stay strapped. We're stalking the spectral saga that strangled a suburb. 1986, dusk. Simons, schoolmaster by day, prowls platforms post-lessons. Targets, tween tots, truants from tracks. Come chat Chaucer, he charms, luring to lots. First faint, fondles feign friendship, then fatal, fellatio forced, throats throttled, tossed to scrub. Elgar, 9, first found, eyes eternal empty. Over 7 years, 22 vanish, 21 presumed his, semen signatures, strangled signatures. Simon's sermon Sunday, sin saturates Saturdays. 1 orphan orates oddities, Sir's stories scare, whispers wane in winds of want, township turmoil trumps. Simon's siblings, suspect splits, Norman's nice. Patterns prowl, post 5 p.m. polls, persistent phantoms. The teacher's tome, tome of terror, one tied tongue at a time. 1993. Brothers' betrayal, visions vex, confessions cascade. Cape PD pounces, polygraphs pierce. 1 kill confirmed. 10-year-old's torment taped. Charges chain, murder, rape. Probes prick profiles. Psyche paints Pied Piper psychopath. Media minarets, stranglers schoolboy shadow. Townships torch tires, Truth seekers swarm stations. Simon spins schizophrenia. Mogo made me. His alter ego alibi. Investigations inflate. 21 unsolved. Fingerprints flit. Families fast funerals. Fatwas for finality. One mom moans. My boy's bush burial breaks. Threads tangle trans township, tying the tangled thespian to his throat clutch throne. Cape High Court, 1994. Gallows gloom as galleries groan. Kin keen, keening at Simon's scholarly spectacles. State script sins, sodomy, strangulation saga. You lectured life, lived lethal. Lad's legacy laments. Simon's soliloquy, madness marionette, mitigation mused. Jury juggles, eloquent excuses versus eviscerated evidence. Experts exhume, multiples mask in mundane. Testimonies tempest, trust transfixed, tomorrow's truncated. Poet of pain, prosecutor pummels. Gavel ghosts grind, verdicts vault visceral. Outside, outrage orates, chants chase the choker. The benches bind, brutal brand for the bard who bound and butchered. 2 life terms, monstrous multiplicity, magistrate mandates mapping the macabre multiplicity. Simon's, 28 then, slogs to supermax solitude. Victims' vindication vapors, voids vast. Townships toughen, task forces track truants. Settlements scarce, but stories steel spines. Simon's scribe scribbles sonnets from cells. One survivor, scarred, scribes. Strangler strings snapped my silence. Echoes enact, ethics edicts, evening escorts. But buried boys? Probes ponder phantoms. Parole 2023. Public pulses protest. The sentence? Supreme shroud on a spectral spree. Healing? Horizon's hymn. Harmony's hushing horrors. Cape's colors clash calmer. Simon's specter stalks. Station's sentinel, but suspicions simmer. Suburb school savvy, hotlines hum. Horizon hugs. Devotees document. Docs dissect doubts, decrees deter. Simon's shade, sheltered in scrutiny's spotlight, symbol of supposition's sting. Platforms pulse protected, but prowl the poet's prose. This dispatch demands, diction detects devilry. If a kid's cadence cracks, convene community. Stragglers snare souls till snared, like if his haunt hounds. Sub for spectral suburbs. Your platform phantom? Pour in comments. We pursue the prowlers. Cut to tracks twilight tinged. Trains thundering truth. Tether the tots, timelessly. Sydney's northern beaches, 1982. Forest High's fields frolic with PE prowess. Chris Dawson, rugby hunk, history honcho, hustles hearts. Lynette, loyal wife, launders kits. Daughters dream daddy's doting. But babysitter Lynn rises, 16-year-old student, sultry shadow. Lynn vanishes, January 8. Chris claims left for life anew, 2022. Murder conviction, 24 years. How does domesticity dissolve to doom? This is the podcast-propelled puzzle of The Teacher's Wife, where charisma conceals carnage. Tune in. We're tracing the timeline that toppled a two-faced titan. 1979 Sparks. Dawson, 30 stud, scouts Lynn, giggly grade 10, for tutoring. Texts tease, touches tempt. By 1980, trysts trump vows. Lynette nags neglect. Chris croons, crisis calls. 1981, Lynn moves in as nanny. Nights naughty while wife wilts. New Year's 1982, powder a pink dress party. Lynette's last laugh. January 8, gone to family. Chris chirps, but calls confirm kaput. Body, buried in backyard bobcat dig. Clues cluster, bloodied bedsheets, hasty house hunt. School slog somber, students sus suspicions. One pal puzzles, Chris's crushes common. Patterns prickle, prior paramours, possessive ploys. The coach's court of conquests. One coerced co-ed at a time. 1982, cops canvass casually. Chris consorts with Lynn openly. Whispers wet, 40-year watch. The Missing Hours podcast, 2018, pulses, proofs. NSWPD reopens, relics resurface. Diary drips dread, hubbies hooked elsewhere. Charges charge 2021, murder meticulous. Probes prick alibis. Phone pings place him plotting. Media maelstrom, 40-year fugue. Daughters doubt dad's dirge. Lynn's kin keen closure. Investigations inflate. Witness waves of wild weekends. As arrests anchor, appeals avalanche. High court hurdles. One sleuth smirks. Beaches bury bones. Threads thicken, tying the tangled trainer to his terminal tangle. NSW Supreme Court, 2022. Waves whisper as witnesses weave. Families fortify, fury flashing at Dawson's defiant denim. Crown crafts carnage, disposal deliberate, daughter duped. You orchestrated oblivion, officer orates. Dawson's declaim. Lynn lived, laughed to lunacy. Jury juggles, charisma's cloak versus circumstantial chains. Experts exhume, groomers gaslight, guilt gilds graves. Testimony's tempest, trust transfixed, tomorrow's truncated. Wife's whisper, silenced. Sister seethes. Gavel gears grind. Verdicts, vault visceral. Outside, outrage orates. Chance chase the charlatan. The benches bite, brutal brand for the brute who buried his bond. 18 years, non-parole. Cowardly calculation, judge jabs, journaling the jugular justice. Dawson, 74, slumps to Silverwater's silence. Lynn's legacy lifts, light in long shadow. Beaches bolster, task forces track temps. Settlements soothe, stories steel. Dawson's daughters, divided but dawning. One kin scribes, mother's mystery mended my might. Echoes enact, advisories amp, audits affairs. But buried beats, probes pause possibles. Parole, pushed post-2040. The sentence? Supreme shroud on a sinister semester. Healing, horizon's hymn. Harmonies, hushing, haunts. Sydney sands soothe. Dawson's dusk dims. School's sentinel, but suspicions simmer. Suburbs schools savvy. Hotlines hum. Horizon hugs. Devotees document. Docs dissect doubts. Decrees deter. Dawson's drift, dragged in drudgery's drag, emblem of evasion's end. Fields frolic freer, but fathom the flirt's facade. This dispatch demands, devotion discerns danger. If a wife's worry wanes, warn wisely. Suitors slay subtly till spotlighted. Like if his hoax horrifies, sub for sun-soaked sins. Your vanishing vibe? Vent in comments. We voyage the veiled. Cut to breakers breaking, burying betrayals. Bind the bonds, bravely. Burien, Washington, 1996. Shorewood Elementary sparkles with second-grade sparkle. Mary K. Letourneau, bubbly, 34, mom of 4, magnetizes with murals and melodies. Vili Fualao, 12-year-old artist, absorbs her aura. Affair ignites. Pregnancy punctuates. 1997, rape rap, 7.5 years. 2004 release, remarriage to victim. 2020, cancer claims. How does nurturing nurture nightmare? This is the tabloid torch tale of taboo tango, where tutelage twists to tempest. Lean in. We're lighting the lore that litigated love's labyrinth. Fall 1996. Letourneau, locked in loveless league, latches on Vili's verve. Sketches shared, secrets swapped. Soulmate, she sighs. Sessions stretch to seductions in cars. By Christmas, Congress consummates. Summer swells her secret. Hubby hears. Havoc hails. Cops cuff post-birth. Vili vows. Voluntary vibe. But laws lash. 13 at act. Lines lacerate. School shudders. Suspensions. Scandals. One pal puzzles. Mary's magnetic, but minors? Patterns prickle. Prior pupils pals. The teacher's tryst? Tryst of transgression. One tangled touch at a time. 1997. Arrest avalanche. Please pivot to prison. Media malls. Mommy monster. Probes prick past. Ignored intimations. Charges chain. 2 counts child rape. Investigations inflate. More minors. Murmurs mount. Families fracture. Vili's veers to her. As bars beckon, appeals aspire. 2004, out on oversight. Remarriage 2005. Rings ring amid riots. Echoes educate. Ethics edicts. One kin keens. Love's lethal label. Threads thicken, tying the tangled temptress to her terminal twist. Action 4 King County Court, 1997. Flashbulbs flare as factions fill. Vili's voice, veritable, not violation. State script sins, statutory savagery. Authority abused, aunt attests. Letourneau's lament, lost in love, leniency lobbied. Jury juggles, brutal brand for the bond that broke bounds. 7.5 years, manipulative mayhem, judge jabs. Letourneau learns locks, lovers lobby. 2004 freedom, family fuses, fame follows. Daughters divide, Villy's vow validated. School safeguard, seminars surge. Letourneau's lore? Lived in limelight, lessons laced. Cancer 2020, quiet quit. One daughter dawns, mom's maze mended mine. Echoes enact, age audits. The sentence? Stint in spotlight's shadow. Healing? Horizon's harmony. Urian's bells brighten. Letourneau's legend lingers. Love's lure lethal. Classroom's caution. Consent curricula. Villy's voice. Ventures validate. Her haze? History's haze. Harbinger of heart's havoc. Desks dream daring. But discern the draw. This dispatch demands. Desire detects danger. If a bond bends, buttress boundaries. Flames flicker fiends, till fanned fair. Like if her heat haunts. Bronx, New York, 2002. Keep Academy's orchestra soars. Strings, singing symphonies, under Jesus Concepcion. 40s maestro, celebrated conductor, charming crowds. Girls, 10 to 13, glow in his glow. Private lessons, praise pouring. But batons beat brutality. Gropes in green rooms, assaults after arias. 5, scarred by 2009. 2024, 30 years locked. How does harmony hide horror? This is the Bronx Ballad of the Mr. C monster, where notes notch nightmares. Strum along. We're scoring the score that silenced strings. 2002 crescendo. Concepcion. Kip's kingpin. Keys on the keen. Shy violinists. Eager cellists. Star solos he seduces. Studios shut for scales special. Fingers fiddle forbidden. Caresses creep. Climaxes coerce. By 2005, 5 snared. Backstage bangs, bribes of baubles. Threats tune tight. Tune out or talent tanks. School symphonies shine. Patterns pizzicato. Post-rehearsal pulls. The conductor's cadence? Cadence of cruelty. One crescendoed cry at a time. 2018. Adult arias alert. Tips to task force. SDNY swoops. Scores seized. Journals jam with jabs. 5 verified. Violations 2002 to 2009. Charges cord. 10 counts abuse. Probes prick programs. Lax locks. Lauded lapses. Media modulates. Maestros molest. Kip crumbles. Cancellations. Cries. Concepcion conducts calm. Consensual chords. Investigations inflate. More measures? Murmurs mount. Families fortify. Fiddles for fairness. One mom modulates. Our symphony soured. Threads thicken, tying the tangled timpanist to his toxic tempo. SDNY Court, 2024. Strings of suspense strangle silence. Keening at Concepcion's crisp cufflinks. Feds finale, forcible fondles, felony fugues. You orchestrated obscenity, agent attests. Concepcion's counterpoint? Creative camaraderie. Coda cut. Jury juggles. Acclaims arpeggio versus assaults staccato. Experts exhume. Maestros manipulate minors. Testimonies tempest. Trust transposed. Tones torn. U-tuned terror. Teen thunders. Gavel glissandos grind. Verdicts vault. Outside, outrage orchestrates. The benches beat. Brutal brand for the baton that bashed. 30 years. Diabolical dirge, judge declaims, dissecting the discordant decade. Conception, 48, slumps to solitary sonatas. Victim's vindication vibrates, voids voiced. Kip keys reforms, chaperones crescendo. Settlements soothe, scores shift. Conception's cachet, cancelled, credits crushed. One girl, grown, gigs, strings of strength from strife, echoes enact, ethics encores. The sentence? Symphony's silence, healing, horizon's harmony. Bronx's bows bounce back, conception's cacophony cautions. Concerts conceal creeps, academies amplify alerts, anonymous adagios, audit allegros, survivors solo, symphonies scripted from scars. His hush? History's hush, hymn of hubris's halt. Rehearsals ring resilient, but rifle the rhythm's ruse. This dispatch demands, melody masks malice. If a note's nuance nags, notify now. Maestro's menace till metered.